Oh, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SenesTech's channel, an agricultural biotechnology life science company managing animal population through fertility control. Joining us, like before, the Chief Financial Officer, Thomas, but he's going to be taking us through kind of an investor Q&A today. We pulled up a bunch of your comments, your questions, so we always kind of implore you to leave them down below so we can make more content like this. But first and foremost, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Very, very nice to be on.
And a pleasure to get you back on. So let's just get right into these. Some of these are pretty hard-hitting and very intriguing. So first and foremost, do you have milestones coming up or interest in partnerships with major pest control companies? Something that investors can kind of look forward to in the long run here?
Well, unfortunately, nobody wants to admit they have rats, so nobody really wants us to name them. We do release on every public contract we can, and try and put out as much as we can without naming the customers. However, we're getting pretty good press floating around in articles and interviews. We probably have an article every week or two that comes out in some local press. Thinking about partnerships and things, though, there's one partnership that goes pretty much unnoticed, is our joint effort with Leafitech. They're the industry innovator in soft baits. We've been working with them for a while on a soft bait version of ContraPest. That effort's going really well, and it may produce some milestones soon. We also recently announced our collaboration with TryptoBio, a Danish company working on biosynthetic tryptolide, one of our active ingredients. I really cannot overstate the economic potential of having a stable and more cost-effective source of tryptolide. It could greatly multiply our addressable market by opening up new areas that we can affordably go into. And then we have a couple more efforts with other major players that are in an early stage of development. I really don't like to tease, but a couple of them are really transformative, I think, and coming along nicely.
I appreciate those insights, but let's kind of get into some of the heavier stuff. The market conditions are tough for unprofitable companies. Do you want to talk a little bit how you feel about the current environment and SenesTech's outlook moving forward within it?
Yeah, it's tough. In most industries, you don't go public until you're profitable. If you're an industrial company or something like that. In biotech and biotech-like industries, however, you tend to go public and finance from milestone to milestone. Our milestones, frankly, we've been growing at a very good rate since 2020. 77% last year, 100% the year before. People talk about that we're having to do diluted financings, but that's really not the way it looks. What we're doing is we're having an ongoing financing from our shareholders as we continue to invest their funds in developing the product. So sadly, it takes time and money to commercialize an innovative and disruptive technology like fertility control. However, right now, the market is punishing any company that's not profitable. I think there's a record number of companies trading below cash just because of market conditions and nothing to do with the quality of the company themselves. So it's a difficult market right now, but we're following a trail that's been, trod by many biotech companies and biotech-like companies. And I think we're doing the best for our shareholders as best we can in the current conditions.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that. And if anything, I think in these kind of sectors, it's setting up for potential buying opportunities. As you mentioned, many companies are trading below even their cash values. But you want to talk a little bit about the stock price itself. Give us a little bit of history here. I know it's fallen off. Some people were mentioning it used to be 3,000 a share back in 2017. You want to talk about what caused the dramatic shift in stock price?
We were a completely different company in 2017. Back then, we were a research company led by a couple of scientists who made some pretty heroic predictions and statements. And they really wanted to explore more species and more markets, to go overseas, rather than really focus on commercializing here in the U.S. So, and more telling that, they were adamantly opposed to any use of poisons and really alienated the pest management industry. So it was a pretty toxic environment. We pivoted to a new management, a revised product, and a completely new strategy that focused on working with the pest management industry. It took us years to wash off the stink from the previous position, as well as to develop the data that's necessary to develop a product in the real world. So, I think we're best seen as an undercapitalized 2020 startup. I mean, that's kind of when the current process started. But let me add this, and kind of looking a little bit in the future. I think there's another pivot coming too. What we've seen recently is there's surprisingly strong interest from homeowners and small businesses in taking control of their own pest management. This is a little bit of a different take on the market than anybody's ever thought about. So I expect to hear more about this in the near future.
Yeah, and I look forward to that. And just to finish up here, an interesting question. Does SenesTech have what it takes moving forward? I guess this is more of an internal question towards you guys and the team.
Yeah, there's no question that it took longer to progress to where we are than anybody thought. But let me just tick off the fundamentals. The product works. We proved that. The current trajectory is really quite dramatic. 100% growth, 77% growth. We showed that. The market is immense and growing fast. It's a billion-dollar market we're going after. And the demand for it is verified. It works, and it works for the customers. We have lots and lots of case studies for that. Yeah, I do think we have what it takes.
Well, I think this has been a very well-rounded conversation, and I appreciate the insight today. So I will again pass the question off to you, the viewer. Let us know what you think in that comment section below. Consider subscribing, because as these catalysts and news hit the wire, we're going to continue to update you here. But on that note, as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.